So, the subject of God should always come up, you know. Some people go to church every Sunday, they pray every night, they go to bed. I never had a burning bush experience. Whether it's Jehovah or his creator, he comes up. But especially online, I find a lot of good worship videos, prayers, and my only church is changing lives. You know, Dr. John B. Anderson speaks about those who wrestle with God. So I looked a little closer at the subject, and I guess I wrestle with God because the Jehovah's Witnesses asked me if I'm going to come back, and I said I can't do everything, so I can't go there. But Jacob wrestled with God, and Jacob's history is something worth reading in the Bible. Him and his brother Esau, very interesting. So the Bible is very complex, and the concepts in the Bible and the Bible principles are something I studied so many years with Jehovah's Witnesses. It's really amazing. Some of the principles still stick with me, and some of the principles I really appreciate. So Jacob wrestled with God, and Israel means wrestle with God, and that's something new I found out. Now we're having this war with Israel in Palestine, so it's a hard time for Israel right now. And Dr. John B. Peterson says, do not just believe. That's when you wrestle with God. And some of the things that Jehovah's Witnesses had convinced me of at 10 years old, like they don't celebrate Columbus Day, don't celebrate 4th of July. I don't just believe it, because there's 45,000 Christian denominations. So Dr. John Peterson said that Jacob received restoration. So he went through this struggle, but Jacob went through a lot of things. But these Bible characters can help us to reason on life and the things we go through. So Elon Musk said he'll say what he want to say. And he said freedom of speech costs him $2 billion a year. And he also makes videos about God and Jesus and things like that. So I put him on here because I like to give my opinion about God and the Bible and Christian conduct and things like that. And I believe that there's darkness in the world and there's a system of things. I believe the darkness is what caused people's untimely death. And there's darkness about crimes against women and children. So I think we should bring everything out of the darkness. And he says something's been brought out into the light. And I'm using YouTube to bring some things out into the light also. And the deep, complex principles of the Bible, the principles about life and death. If you think of all these buildings at Florida Atlantic University, they all contain different principles. There's a psychology department. I spoke to a psychology professor briefly. But the Jehovah's Witness magazine had 34 symptoms of mental illness. And they said that prolonged distress is a form of mental illness. But I think prolonged distress causes mental illness. So we have to look at the underlying principles.